It's Podraza. I'm not making any of this up. This is Podraza. The reason why I'm dealing with you is the following. I cannot endorse you on two things. Who wrote the poetry? It is based on my life and the strangeness of it. I ended up in an Arab country on my laptop in which it gave me a werewolf of a female. Now, I was trying to sleuth whether it was Jewish or whether it was another country. I cannot do that. What I can tell you is I want one answer only. The only time I was calm was with Stephen Kotler in that office since 7 years old. I cannot endorse any form of insanity of my family at all. I speak to Presnell and explain things to her as I understand them. I am non-manipulative. I do not believe you could have gotten some background from your father. Did you earn that degree? Do it mentored by somebody who understood me? Who wrote the poetry? I do have to laud the poetry. I do not want narcissistic attention. I do not want to go on TV. That is all wrong. I am not somebody who craves power in terms of negativity and attention. I craved getting that degree done, and I lost it. I craved going up the ladder within the trust department. It was calming for me. I am not a Rat-A-Tat-Tat type of individual. I am calm, and I don't want any kind of amphetamine stuff. Now, I understand what's going on within my children and stuff like that. I don't want that label, and I don't want something said about my children. Some in here wanted you to take over as if I was emotionally sick. I will not accept that label. I should have been given a practicum, or I should have been given employment akin to it so that I could have earned the rest of the degree. There is very much some background in Maine that I stay loyal to here in my 20s and loyal to in the corporate world later on. I told you we're talking two different... The issue is whether Stephen Kotler married or not. He mentioned he was honorable and ethical, and I respect that. He told me the truth on Nature Muriaticum. I respect that. It was tangibly out loud. I respect that. I'm in the world of mental communication when I am. And I'm in an apartment that I love and want to keep. There is cooperation on some situation in here, and it's being handled properly. And this management style is better for me. That other stuff is hell. My question is he still single? Has he married? If there's family in Texas, in Connecticut, I would go in and out to visit. There was too much heartache concerning my mother, father, me, a loss of a single family attached dwelling. For me to maintain permanent residency there has to be outside of it, because that means that's loyalty to what's wrong and was wrong then. My mother suffered horribly, and I lost a piano and my music due to her having to have money, you can rest assured, to feed those children then. And I had to do what I had to do. I love where I'm at. I'd like to experience Maine. Where is he in terms of that? I don't mind spending time with him if he's ready to marry. And it has been resolved with him with that first marriage. I'd like to know that answer. From that perspective, I cannot. Peter Pryor should have been taken place then. I called backwards in time. Casey was no way answering me. There is a question of Goldman involved with something. I think even married in on something. And I'm not clear on all of that. He didn't do it. If that were prior, he had stayed with what was. I was ruined by something regarding neglect of children and something sexuality thing. That is not my doing. That is at least understood a bit in Maine on this in certain respects. I cannot endorse that. It is no schizophrenic reaction. It is a legitimate physical reaction. I am a total straight heterosexual. That will always be the case. I enjoy emotions. I am my father's principal still. Don't ask, don't tell. He hired gays, blacks a long time ago. And I'm telling you, I understand emotions. I cannot watch the sex. I have to walk away from it. I have to go in another room. I can understand the emotions. That is definitively so. I will always be a straight heterosexual. He met my needs in more ways than one. Calmness, law, that's the case. Health, he understood emotions. He met my needs. I don't know whether he's still considering meeting mine. There's complications on this. I don't want samurai story of somebody cutting off somebody's head. I sure don't want to be out of my apartment. And that's the point. I've dealt with the occult. I don't want anything to do with the occult. Anything to do with psychic abilities that are within that ramification. I do not believe in it. It makes me sick. It causes me major nausea. I cannot be near occult in any fashion at all. Seances, out of the question. Anything in Salem, starting again. Anything in Salem, I never read the occult books. I wouldn't even pick the page up. So there would be any connection. I utilize the holy war to start my day. My father's rules, simply 10 commandments. I have tried to stay logical until I had to back away to save myself, to save anything of myself at all. I am a non-harmer. And the only way I write papers is from a perspective that the individual did not want to harm somebody. By nature, he did not want to harm somebody. That is it. I will never have an affair. I never had one. And I can't stand a liar. So that is where we're at. I'm telling you the truth. If you can give me the answer on Stephen Kotler, I am still interested in that. I never... You made sense on some stuff, and then it went off, and then you obliterated it. And I am taking nothing but B100 and vitamin C. Situation is, I kept starting to get sick. So that is what I'm on. Good nutrition, I do require some sweets, and I do require meat and fish and cheese. Now, I have my finances as I have them. The issue is I want to exercise a bit at the mall, and we'll try to do that a little. The crushing of the chest, not good. This is not schizophrenia. I literally feel it. On the shore, I had a hole in my bottom of my foot, and it infected. I have skin that broke open. The finger healed. I can't heal the other part of my hand. It is my right hand. Now, this has to stop. I cannot endorse any form of psychologist or psychiatrist that calls me insane. I feel this, and I'm trying to deal with it logically logically out loud on the 27th. This mental stuff is not healthy for me. Stephen Kotler is the only one who addressed anything out loud. And honestly, there was a complication then, but we continued. And on that subject, I really feel in his heart, he didn't dislike me at a point in time. There was no harm in his eyes. And we never addressed the third round out loud, which would have stopped some of this hell. I cannot endorse you on that. I don't know who you are, and I don't know whether you went into, and I just use that slang, got involved in zoophilia also. Now, that is due to some psychiatrist that went through that with you, and I cannot say yes to any of that excoriation. My mother never was part of that either, and there is other paraphilias. I've got some books left. My mother died. I ended up throwing out my books due to shock. My son helped me clear the apartment, lost all my texts. But anyway, they were excellent texts. I never got that degree. That was my lifelong goal, the money.